course not. She's just walking home with us is all.
What? Hey.
Sorry, Mr. Snyder. Hey,
One of these days, every migrant, you're gonna get a good spanking.
There's my delicacious angel. Oh!
Mom, Mr. Snyder's mean, and Wally won't let me play.
Oh, who cares? School is out, Amy, and you don't have to go back till next year! Yay! What on earth? It's the smell of snow in your hair.
Snow, Ma?
Well, something reminded me of it, didn't it? A long, 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 long time ago. The very first Christmas after I married Martin Mutterance and he was home from the sea. The one and only Christmas that ever happened. Do you know what, Amy?
What?
It snowed like a miracle.
Game's on Center Avenue, Ma. Bye.
Not until you warm up with some cocoa.
Oh, guess what, Wally? It's gonna snow. Amy, it is not. Ma!
Oh, now, never mind. Oh, hello, Mrs. Wilmot. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I have your order ready right here.
Oh, in a minute, Mrs. Mutterance. Just let me smell the goodies. Oh, how I love this place. It's always the same year after year. Even the little tree.
Well, if the tree were the same, it'd be kind of wamped and drooply by now, don't you think? Hold it right there, Wallace. Cocoa, some for Amy, too. And eat an apple while you're at it. Amy? Get. Now, just feast your nose on this. Help yourself. Everybody deserves something a little extra for Christmas. You want to buy candy?
Well, I didn't exactly come in for candy.
Well, have a piece anyway. Free for Christmas.
Well, you might regret giving me some because after I got to tell you.
Only one thing I regret, and that is the disappearance of the dealies for the caramel corn. We used to put prizes in all the box. Then the war came and we couldn't get the little dealies anymore. Oh, my. You should have tasted that caramel corn scrum. Delicious, absolutely.
I broke a front tooth on one of them dealies. I much prefer fudge.
Served you right, too. You snitched that box right out of my hand, and I was only 13. I don't do fudge. Never have done fudge. I don't hold with fudge.
Mrs. M, as you know, I own these premises, and I can do with them as I please.
Well, I just want to say the candy store is practically a municipal landmark.
Maybe so.
Mrs. Snyder, if you are thinking to sell this building, don't count on it. I mean, you and your premises are a matched pair. Both of you a mess. Besides, if you didn't have the third floor, you wouldn't have any place to stay.
My. Ignorance is bliss. It just so happens, Mrs. M, I wouldn't sell this building for the world. I happen to be in consultation with a director of laundromat franchises.
Kids, you better get outside and play before it gets dark. Come on.
Amy's going overboard again. She said you said it's gonna snow.
I did.
Did you hear it on the radio?
Felt it. In my bones.
It hasn't snowed around here since before the war. I'm talking about since before the crash. And that's 25 years ago. So don't talk nonsense, Mrs. M.
I know the last time it snowed. Better than you do.
My ma doesn't talk nonsense.
Your ma? Hardly likely. Let's see, that was the year that you married that sailor, right? Hey, you young man, you stop lying like that. You'll wind up at a bad end.
She's my ma, too.
That's right. And don't you ever let anybody try to tell you I'm not your ma, hmm? Okay, get outside and have some fun.
Come on.
All this foo-for-all is nothing but gas and goose feathers.
You know, Mrs. M, I got plans for this here candy store. Yes, sir. You know, years and years go by, and you don't realize you just quit dreaming. And then all of a sudden...
This is my candy store.
Oh, candy's yours, but the store's mine. And this here candy store is going to be a laundryette, an all-automatic laundryette. Yes, sir. With washing machines all over the place. Yeah, and a new kind, with the windows in the front so you can see the bubbles. And over here will be just right for the dryers. They'll be humming away. Let's see. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. And the kitchen. This will be just fine for plenty of room for the dry cleaning machines in the kitchen. And all these machines will be working. All of them will be working. And not one of them will work except you put a coin in them.
Well, you heard Mrs. Wilmot. We're a landmark. I mean, 30 years I've run this candy store, and my papa 50 years before me, and it never shut down once. Not even when I had the flu in 33. I'll never turn my back on candy.
Then don't. You don't have to.
Well, we're just going to see how your washy terrier runs when there's nobody behind this counter.
That's where I got you. See, my laundryette is going to be all automatic. An all-automatic laundryette. Yes, sir. People come in, put their clothes in, and their money. Then the people take their clothes out, but not their money. I get to keep that. You see, it's all automatic. So, your services won't be required, Gertie.
Even when you were little, and you used to come down to this part of town with your daddy to swagger around, even then, you hadn't the right to call me Gertie, pinwit.
I'm gonna need the whole upstairs for myself. I need a place to store soap powders, chemicals, and spare parts, things like that. And, well, over the holidays, you're gonna have to find yourself a new store and new premises to live. This is gonna be my laundryette. Yes, sir, all automatic.
Oh, please. What am I going to do?
But where are we going to go?
Why, Gulistan. Or Netherbean Blossom. Or the Rinks of Maryvale. Or...
Before my birthday?
No, nor before Christmas. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten that, I promise. Anyway, everything is going to be just fine. You'll see. Just as soon as I talk to Mr. Snyder tomorrow.
Mom, how come the captain never bought up this place?
Martin Mutterance was not a captain, Wallace. He was a first mate.
He had his master's papers, you said.
Even so, facts are facts, and it's best to stand by them. Anywho, Martin's ship was his whole world. Till it sank and him with it. Candy was my world. In all the years we were married, I never went to sea with Martin. Not even once. Mr. Snyder's daddy owned Practivery, the whole downtown. Did you know that? Till the Great Depression, this building was the only home left to old Prune Dune when he got war wounded.
I hate it.
Now, Wallace, that's a bastable thing to say. Eat up, Keats. We got a lot of orders put together so you can make deliveries tomorrow.
Deliveries. The wind howled around the tombstones. Felicia, Militia scooched down and leaned back against the cold, cold marble. Would the ghost come? Then she heard it. Click, clack, click, clack.
And then what, Wally?
behind Felicia Militia, the door to the crypt slowly creaked open. Click, clack, came crawling out the cold and bony hand. Click. Kaplunk, kaplunk. That bony hand came closer and closer and closer and closer and
Wallace, stop that pendulum with that hammock or get in the bed. And go to sleep. It's late.
Don't be such a scaredy cat, Amy.
What happened to Felicia Militia?
It's just a story, okay? That was old Rinky-Dink Snyder upstairs.
Wally, don't be mean. I know you think it's dumb to have to share my birthday with Christmas. Especially when I'm not even sure it is my birthday.
Do you want to know what I really think? Always have. The truth is, it really makes you better off than anybody. Every morning around Christmas, you can think today's the day and sing happy birthday to yourself all day long.
Wally, you asleep? You were born here.
I know.
Your mother died here.
I know.
But somebody might come looking for me. Suppose somebody does, and we aren't here anymore.
Do you think about it a lot, Amy? That somebody might come looking for you?
Only sometimes. The thing is, it was the alley here where Ma found me that Christmas. And if somebody comes looking, and we're gone...
What would you do? I mean, if somebody did come back for you, would you just go off and forget Ma and me?
Oh, no. At least, I don't think so. But it would be nice if somebody came looking, even so.
Yeah, I guess so. There's nobody to come looking for me.
Show Mr. Green Bean, huh? Oh! No, you don't.
Wow.
Can't stand out here in your bare feet in this snow. Get your slippers on, huh? Get your robes on. What are you doing in the snow in your bare feet?
Stay inside. Ground to a halt. No buses, no cars, at least for some hours to come. Christmas Eve, usually the busiest shopping day of the year, may be a bust.
Oh. It's so quiet. Why is it so quiet, Ma?
Snow smuffles everything. Once my papa called me Trude, and he gave me mint balls to keep me warm, and he sent me out sledding on a candy sheet.
Can we go sledding, Ma? Can we please?
Go get the cookie sheets.
It's not so good for deliveries, is it? go sledding, then we can make deliveries around here anyway.
Of course you can, and it's a superlicious idea. But not before you go out playing for a little while. And then when you get back, I'll have all the packages ready. Wallace, keep your eyes open. Because the buses may start running any time. This kind of day, you could have come down by the inside stairs, seeing as how it snowed, although you said it wouldn't.
No, so you wait.
Here.
What's that?
The rent check, a week early. And, I upped it some, too.
What for?
So's we don't have to move, of course.
Rent's got nothing to do with it. You got 2 weeks' notice, and that's it. I'll give you the difference in the check when I come back from the bank. Now, the franchise man's going to be here around 11 o'clock. He wants to see how many machines he can put into the place.
And if he manages to get through the snow, he won't be welcome.
It's my building.
And it's our home for 2 more weeks. You just said.
Gertie, someday you'll be grateful for what I'm doing. This store is nothing but a holdover. It's a past tense. You need a new place with modern showcases and those new kind of boxes you can put your candy in. What do you call them? Plastic. Plastic is new. All right. I'll be back around 11 o'clock.
Careful you don't slip.
Yeah! You wish that on me. You wish that on me. I know. Yeah.
Mugwump. Fiddlesticks. I don't need to get his dander up. Mr. Snyder.
Kids are like Indians. The first time you see snow. You never saw it.
Who'd have thought to see that old geezer out on a day like this?
That old geezer picks up all his own tabs. And he plays the best chess game in town.
Well, it's getting mean cold out.
Yeah, looks like to be a slow day, all right. How about a game, Mr. Snyder?
I gotta be someplace at 11 o'clock. I guess we got time. Oh, that cold gets to you. Oh, boy. Oh. I've been thinking. Sometimes a person needs something to happen. In spite of himself, you know? Like a good swift kick in the pants. I mean, for the good, though, you know? So things can change. So a person can change.
I guess. Unless that person wastes an awful lot of time waiting around for that something to happen.
You're absolutely right, Harry. And I've wasted a lot of years. You know, Harry, getting old is a scary thing, especially when you're alone and got nobody. I mean, just to be with. And then right out of the blue, somebody turns up wanting my building, and me. And suddenly, everything's changed. It's amazing what a change in attitude can do.
Mr. Snyder, if all it takes to renovate the whole of Grant Street is a change in attitude, we could have done it years ago.
You know, Harry, sometimes if you're very, very lucky, you get a second chance at life. And you got to grab it. No matter what. And I'm grabbing mine this morning. I have it no matter what. Check.
Merry Christmas. May I help you?
Mr. Snyder here?
No.
I had an appointment for 11. I'm late. Oh, well, he'll be along. I'll just have a look around while I wait.
You will not. These are still my premises, and you're trespassing.
Buses are running. We can deliver now. Buses are running.
So I gather.
I'll be back.
Just go around the neighborhood before lunch. You can make the bus deliveries later, when the roads are safer. Go, 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 go. Go.
Okay. Oh, Monster Man doesn't answer. Maybe when you step on it, time to make the bus deliveries, or it'll all melt before we can even go sledding again.
Don't call names, Wallace.
You do. You call Mr. Snyder names all the time.
Now then, are you sure you knocked hard enough?
Mm-hmm. And I hollered, too.
He wouldn't have missed the meeting with that franchise person, not if his life depended on it. I have a hazardy feeling about Mr. Snyder. Well, he could be upstairs all bruised and broken, and he's just mean enough not to let on.
Ma, where you going?
To call the police, to inform them of the tragedy.
Ma!
I found your baseball bat, Wallace, right by the schoolyard gate where I said. And I knew about Martin, Not where the storm was, but I knew. Something is wrong with Mr. Snyder, and we have to get in up there. And if you find our fingerprints, don't conclude we're accomplished in this murder. There's a phone back there, so you can call out the squad. You witnessed the scene of the crime. Did you ever see such a mess in all your career?
Well, the old man's sure a lousy housekeeper, but that doesn't mean... There's no body, ma'am.
I wish to report a disappearance. An occupant of these premises has vanished and has probably suffered foul play.
When did you see him last?
This morning, before he went to the bank.
Has it occurred to you that this morning isn't a long time ago? Look, Mrs. Meadows, Mr. Snyder's a tough old bird.
He is a veteran and a member of the Walking Wounded, and he's probably lost in the snow.
My dad was in the service with Mr. Snyder. The old man wasn't wounded. He broke his leg when he fell off the back of a truck at Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Poor Reggie. I guess he wanted to feel proud.
If he's not back in 48 hours, give us a call, Mrs. Mutterance. And Merry Christmas.
Very well. We'll just have to find him ourselves.
But we still haven't made the bus deliveries, Ma.
And we're missing the sledding and everything. Can't we look later?
No. Later might be too late.
Maybe you'll freeze.
Don't, Wallace. Don't ever be cruel.
Mr. Snyder's stingy and rotten, and he's kicking us out right after my birthday.
He wants to get rid of us, Ma. Now we're rid of him. We're saved if he doesn't come back. We'll keep the store, the whole building.
When a person's your age, Wallace, what you want is all that matters. But when you're my age, you know that the only thing that ought to matter is what's right. And you're stuck with it.
Maybe we can track him. His cane leaves a mark, And his footprints lead away from the front door.
If it's too cold to melt, it's too cold to be lost in the snow. We'll track him. It's been debunked. Oh, dear. Well, can't be helped. Business is just gonna have to wait. You two go get your wraps on. If we can't track, we're gonna have to search. Old Pinwit's got nobody else to find him but us.
But you're not closing up.
Yes, I'm afraid so. It's an emergency.
But it's Christmas Eve. Nobody closes on Christmas Eve, and I've come clear across town.
Well, believe me, you're no sorrier about it than I am.
Mr. Snyder! Mr. Snyder!
Excuse me, sir. Have you seen Mr. Snyder?
Oh, he left hours ago. Hey, you two get out of here. No kids allowed.
Come on, Amy. Let's go check out the hill. Hey, Wally, come here. We need you. I'm getting slaughtered. Amy, get out of here. Only gonna get hurt. Ow! See? Mr. Snyder. Mr. Snyder. Mr. Snyder, where are you? Alicia? We wish you a happy birthday. We wish you a happy birthday. We wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Somebody please help.
Alicia, did it finally get you?
Please, somebody help me.
Oh, it did, it got her, but not me. Wally, did the goose get Felicia?
Amy, it was just a story.
Yeah, but could she have heard the wind and not a ghost at all?
I just told you.
There wasn't any wind today, was there?
No, there wasn't. Come on.
I saw his footprints, Wally.
You mean up front?
I'm afraid not.
Where? No. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. So what if you did? It's sure all melted by now and gone forever.
The thing is, if there wasn't any wind and there wasn't any ghost, then...
Just go to sleep, will you?
Maybe it was Mr. Snyder.
You ought to be asleep.
You aren't, I can hear you.
Amy's birthday cake. I almost forgot. Of all the felonious things.
If worse comes to worse, Mom, where are we gonna go?
Icing
Ma!
and coloring and candles. Oh, we'll find some place.
But if Mr. Snyder doesn't come back, we won't have to. It's all Amy and me can think about.
Well, you're not to think like that. All right, then, all right. You think I'm not thinking, too, how satisfactory it'd be if he just went out of sight and out of mind forever? I'm telling myself, why, then everything would be solved and nobody to blame.
But that's true, Ma.
Wallace, maybe it's because it would be so easy just to turn your back and hold your breath and hope. So easy and so mean-minded. The thing is, it's fraught, even more than you know. The candy store's a holdover, son, a past tense. Now, I'm not going to tell you who told me that, but it's true. Oh, Wallace. Oh, Wallace. I thank my lucky stars that your mama was here working for me when she had you. See, we're not going to take very well to someplace else. With everything new and smelling modern.
Are you saying it's either here or nothing? No candy store anymore? And you still want Mr. Snyder back?
Well, look, if we didn't have the candy store, why, we could live anywhere. And you and Amy'd get to choose.
Without the candy store, who cares?
Wallace. Such fun we had that first Christmas. This whole room full of furniture was delivered in the middle of the storm. And the delivery men tracked in the snow and almost dropped the vanity on the stairs. And then tried to hold you up for a double tip. Oh, Martin. What a confabulation of memories you've left me. You always said you wanted 2 kids. A boy and a girl. It's what made me fight so hard for Wallace and Amy. They were your dream come true. I just don't know how to fight Mr. Snyder. And the movers better never drop this going down the stairs either. Could so easily break. And even if it doesn't, Martin, I might. Your absolution sure?
Yes, ma'am.
He looks much older than he is.
Yes,
And he's got a bad leg. And
lady, don't you believe me?
Well, no, of course I believe you. Thanks.
Merry Christmas! Oh!
Happy birthday, darling!
Thank you,
Oh.
let you play touch with us yet. But come spring, I figure we'll let you play outfield. That's if we're still anywhere near here.
Look, Ma, look!
Yes, I see. I see.
Merry Christmas,
Christmas
Ma.
card!
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Here's for me.
Oh.
Here's one for me, too.
Oh, my. Well, I'm sorry. I know I'll love your presents. But Mr. Snyder still hasn't come home. Now, I called the hospital, I called the police station, I called the funeral home. Nobody has Mr. Snyder.
Well, you can't blame him. We don't want him either.
Well, of course not. And that's the trouble. If all you think about is how much you don't like a person, well, then, of course, you're never going to be able to find him. But if you sympathize, then you have no problem at all. Wallace, if we really sympathize with Mr. Snyder, then we can imagine what became of him. So, everybody, sympathize.
But I don't want to.
Oh, me neither.
We have to, whether we want to or not, because it's Christmas. And the unworsted truth is, if we don't keep on trying to find Mr. Snyder, we are most certainly going to lose Christmas.
Ma, when I found his footprints yesterday, I tracked him into the cemetery till I heard a ghost.
You found?
Amy, there aren't any ghosts.
Well, there wasn't any wind yesterday either.
You didn't see the ghost, you just heard it?
It ran away, Ma.
Of course you did.
Make snow never mind anyhow. Snow's gone, and so are the footprints.
Only I know where they were heading. Right for a little hill.
Isn't a hill in the cemetery?
Is too!
Well, we just have to go see for ourselves. We have to. To save Christmas, we have to save Mr. Snyder.
Well, there's tombstones all over the place, Amy.
And no hills.
Mr. Snyder!
Suppose we can't find him. It'd be all my fault if we lose Christmas forever.
Mr. Snyder! Wallace, you run down that way and look. Go on, look, run. Come on, you and I are going to go this way, Amy. Watch your step here. Keep your eyes open.
Somebody, please.
Found it! Ma! Come here, come quick! Come quick, come on! What? Found it, the hill! Oh, the hill! Oh!
See, it's to a hill.
Oh, it's not a ghost, Amy. It's got to be old Mr. Greenbean. Yay!
It's right over here. It's right here.
Mr. Snyder? Mr. Snyder?
Gertie? Oh, Gertie. Oh.
Just look at you.
Gertie, it's you.
Mr. Snyder, how ever did you get yourself in such a fix?
I don't know how it happened. I was walking along. The tarpaulin covered the grave. I didn't see it because the snow was covering the top. I just fell through. I hollered and screamed all night. I shouted and everything, but nobody heard, nobody came. God, it's been the most scary time of my whole life. I didn't expect anybody to miss me, except maybe you. Why should you? You didn't have to. I've never been so scared. Even the time when I was war wounded. Please, get me out. Help me out, please.
Well, of course.
Yeah?
Just as soon as we figure out how. Maybe we should go and get help.
No, please. Please, don't leave me alone. I couldn't stand to be alone for another minute. Please, don't leave me.
I see some rope down there.
Rope where?
Maybe we could haul him up. It's right there, right?
Where's the rope?
Where your foot is.
Lean down and grab it.
Right. Okay.
Here we go.
Good boy, Wallace. Good boy.
Oh, goodness.
Here you go.
There we go. All right, now.
A little
Mrs. Snyder,
bit more.
come on. You take a good hold of that end,
Okay, hold on.
and we'll hold up this end. You're gonna
Oh,
be out
good.
of here in no time
Oh,
at
good,
all.
good.
Okay, kids, come on, give me a help here.
Okay. Come on.
Wait. First, he's got to promise that we get to keep the store.
Wallace Mutterance, I am shocked. Now, just look at this poor soul. He's compoundingly scarified and weak as a kitten. You give me a hand here. Come on.
Okay.
Pull.
Here we go.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Brace your... That's it, you're coming. Sit down. Come on, get some leverage. Pull. Pull it up. Come on. Oh, that's it. Okay. Put your hands over there. That's it. Okay. All right, Wallace, get him under the arm. Get him up. Come on, keep going. You almost got it. Ah! Oh, that's it. You made it. You did it. You did it. Hey, swing your legs over. Come on here.
Lift your leg up. Swing it over. Okay, Wallace, get a hold of an arm. Swing the other leg over. Here we go.
Lift him up. Oh, what a big ox he is, huh? Woo, you made it.
Oh, my. Madam, thank you. Thank you very. Oh, Wallace, I want to tell you something about your mother. I spent a night of terror in that grave. The only thing that kept me going was the thought that maybe your mother would come. Just a little tiny patch of hope in my heart. Let me tell you, it wasn't the thought of a laundromat that kept me going. It was only my hope and faith in you. That's all I had left. My God, it's great to be alive. It's marvelous. It really is.
Would you like to have dinner with us?
Oh,
I think Christmas has waited long enough.
you forget about the washateria. Wallace, my boy, seems I've broken my cane. Do you mind if I use your shoulder for some help, please?
Sure.
Ah.
Hey! Hello, everybody. It's snowing. We've got snow for Christmas.
I think I'll do fudge.
Hey, guys. Old man Snyder.
Oh, you aren't gonna let her play now, are you, Wally?
No, of course not. She's just walking home with us, so.
What?
Sorry, Mr. Snyder.
One of these days, every migrant, you're going to get a good spanking.
There's my delicacious angel. Oh!
Mom, Mr. Snyder's mean, and Wally won't let me play.
Oh, who cares? School is out, Amy, and you don't have to go back till next year. Yay! What on earth? It's the smell of snow in your hair.
Snow, Ma?
Well,
Something reminded me of it, didn't it? A long, 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 long time ago. The very first Christmas after I married Martin Mutterance and he was home from the sea. The one and only Christmas that ever happened. Do you know what, Amy?
What?
It snowed like a miracle.
Game's on 2nd Avenue, Mom. Bye.
Ah, not until you warm up with some cocoa.
Oh, guess what, Wally? It's gonna snow.
Amy, it is not. Mom!
Oh, now, never mind. Oh, hello, Mrs. Wilmot. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I have your order ready right here.
Oh, in a minute, Mrs. Mutterance. Just let me smell the goodies. Oh, how I love this place. It's always the same year after year. Even the little tree.
Well, if the tree were the same, it'd be kind of wamped and droopy by now, don't you think? Hold it right there, Wallace. Cocoa, some for Amy, too. And eat an apple while you're at it. Amy? Get. Now, just feast your nose on this.